for joining us. I really appreciate your time dialing in from over in America. It might be my phone. It might be nice. Let me just turn it off. See if that helps. So yeah, thanks very much for dialing into the call for us. You've been somewhat of a friend and mentor to me for a couple of years now, really. I think we first met over in Arizona at the conference over there just 18 months ago, and that was my first big international conference, really. I've done the European conference, but obviously you and I met up there with your wife Jennifer as well, and then again last year over at the Eric Worre convention in Vegas, so we spent 3 or 4 days together. And Eric's actually doing that convention over in Manchester next weekend, so we're all really excited about that as well. Me more so than most, because I know what's ahead for everybody, as do you. But could you just tell us your story, Sean, and how did you get involved with this company, and what's your journey been like, and how you got started, really?
Absolutely. Can you hear me well? Because you were a little bit digitized. You hear me okay?
I'm going to try and work out why that is while you're talking. So yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay, I'll roll. Well, thank you for having me on the call. This is always fun to do international video conferencing, man. We're so technology savvy these days. It's fun to have all these tools. I got started just a couple years ago when I was 23 years old. No, it was more than a couple of years, 26 years ago. My wife actually had an open mind after I had told my friend I didn't have anything to do with the scam that was trying to get me in, literally. And she waited until I went into town in my first job interview out of college, and went to a meeting, got excited about it, came home. I was very negative, and she said, you know what, I think I want to try this. And she got started and had good results up front. And I know there's some people on the phone tonight that are probably taking some notes, and hopefully I'll say something that's noteworthy tonight. But the one thing that I know makes a difference for people over the last 26 years, probably more than anything else that I can do for them, is to get them off to a good start. And we were lucky that way, because if you don't get off to a good start, your chances go down dramatically, and your enthusiasm goes down dramatically, your belief goes down dramatically, everything kind of tumbles after that. But we got off to a good one. She went out and made $1,000 in her first week. And for us at that time, that was a mountain of money. That was incredible. We were, like I said, just out of college. I used to be an accounting teacher at the University of Kansas, and was in the phase of, do I go back to school, get my master's? Do I get a law degree? Do I go out in the workforce? And so we were broke, and that was a huge amount of money. And it was in 1 week, so it got me fired up. And I said, you know what? Aren't you lucky I got us in this? No, I didn't say that. So my wife, she's the open-minded person, but I really took it serious. And that's another piece that I think a lot of times people, because here in the United States, it's $50 to get started. I don't know how many pounds it is in the UK, but it's not enough money where people have to take it serious like they do if they got a franchise, or, we use McDonald's as the example over here because that's $1 million plus, right? And what do you get the right to do? You get the right to show up and flip burgers if the burger flipper doesn't show up. I mean, but if you put money into a franchise, it's pre-built that you're going to go to work because you've got a motivation to make money, because you'll lose your money if you don't. We have to create all our motivation. We don't have that option. It's $50, right? So you got to go out and create some burning desire to have something different, something change in your life. And for us, when we got started, it was money. We didn't have any. And so when we were living in a $280 a month, 280 square foot, $280 a month apartment, little tiny place. Everything was right here. I got to go a long way to get to stuff now in this house. But the idea for us was, let's go out and talk to people and see if we could build a customer base. And that's what we did. And from that customer base, we found people that were like, wow, I could use some extra money. And we started building their customer base. And a lot of times you can make this a lot more complicated than it really is. It comes down to sharing a product that you believe in with people. That turns into people wanting to do what you do. And as long as you're genuine, as long as you're more committed to their income than your own income, as long as you're focused on building people's goals and dreams with them and in conjunction with them, this business acts really easy. And I know where you guys came on the scene with really mastering Facebook and mastering social media and the ability to actually create relationships online. That hasn't been the way I did it. I create relationships, when I'm at the grocery store or when I'm at the country club or, when I'm on a plane. And when I'm just trying to think about the last 4 people I recruited this year. One was on a plane, one was at a charity event that I'm on the board of, one was at my country club, and one was at the grocery store, right? So I'm making relationships all the time. Social media allows you to speed that up, which is really awesome, and you guys have had the benefit of that. But there's another side to our business that is something that over the last 26 years now and all the success we've had actually means more to me than the whole thing, and that's the relationships. And that piece is probably what differentiates the people who have long-term, really successful businesses from the people who kind of burst on the scene, have a lot of success, they put a lot of energy into it, but they didn't put the energy into the relationships. And so people don't feel part of something more than just making money. And those things are temporary. Relationships are long lasting. When you go in to a situation where you're helping someone realize dreams that they never thought of, that's an impactful relationship. That they're willing to share with you their goals and dreams, what they don't like in their life, what they want to change, and they open up to you and you totally engage your time, your energy, your focus, and your commitment to them. That's a relationship that if you treat it right, you'll have it for the rest of your life. And I know one of the questions you had asked me last time I did a call for you was, what are your favorite things that you have from this business? What if you look back over 26 years, what's the highlight? And the highlight for me is always the relationships. And it comes from the way we do our business. We totally commit to people's goals and dreams. So I think I scrambled around a little bit on the story. The story after we got started, it grew. We didn't have a straight up story. We didn't have one of these, wow, if you look back 26 years ago, our trajectory was straight up to the top. It wasn't. It was like this, and it went down like that. And then we had a huge transition in our company where we went from water filters and air filters to Juice Plus. And we didn't save any of those people. And all these people jumped out of the company and the new hot network marketing company at the time. None of them are around anymore. None of the companies are around anymore. I see some of those people every now and then, and every single one of them just about breaks into tears, the fact that they left this. But it was difficult. It was change. It was a different marketing plan. It was a different product, and it was difficult for people to see the vision. But a handful of us did. And in the beginning, it wasn't easy. We didn't have any tools. We didn't have research yet. We had an orange box, and Jay Martin said, we're not going to do it with testimonials. We're going to do it with science, but we don't have the science yet. So we'll get back to you. So we basically would say, hey, try this. I think you'll like it, but I can't really tell you why. What's it do? I don't know. It's fruits and vegetables. Try it. So things moved a little slow, and then we got the preferred customer program where they auto shipped. Imagine you guys having to ship all of the product from the company to your flat or your house and then distribute to all your customers every single month. That's how we started. And that was cumbersome and slow. So all these improvements the company made, and then the distributors made improvements on how we went about it, and it just went like this. And as it grew, our businesses all took off. And then we had another big guy in the company leave the company. He did it really nasty. He went behind my back, and he was the second top money earner, and he got all my people. Disfocus is really sad because most of those people didn't even go with him, but they got disfocused and disheartened in what we were doing because he had decided the grass was greener somewhere else. And so we started again. Remember, it went like this, but it kept going up each time. There was a higher base each time. And then probably 15 years ago is when our real base set in, and you know, that's taken us to, you know, 7-figure income and all of the things that you would love to have from a residual income. We've been able to do a few things that are really cool. We took time and had a sailboat built in France, and after I sailed it across the Atlantic when my kids were 8 and 10, we got on it in the British Virgin Islands and sailed through the Caribbean to Australia and homeschooled them for 15 months. It was amazing. Came back and our check had actually gone up, which was really, really cool. But that all happened not because we got lucky. It happened because we had trained a lot of really good people and focused on building some great leaders that they were independent of us. They didn't need us to achieve their goals. They had their own goals. They had their own ideas, and they had their own ability to go do it because we had poured into them over a number of years. You know, I've had people come up to me and say, "Hey, I want to go do that." You know, and how long you been in the business? Well, about 6 months. It's like, well, you want to put a little stronger base than that, right? It takes some years to do that. But we've been able to realize that residual income. We've been able to, you know, we've got the money, we've got the big house, we've got the fancy cars, we've got all that stuff. And it's just stuff. What really it comes back down to for us is we love what we do. And, you know, you guys have probably heard of our number one income earner in the company is Jeff Roberti, and we're not associated. I'm a different leg of the company than he is. So, you know, one of these days I'll be able to get him underneath me and he can get some real support and I can show him how to do this. But the idea that we've built this business that provides us money that if we wanted to, we could retire is an interesting idea because we could, but retirement's boring. And he was the first person I heard say, "I'm retiring into my business." And my wife and I, you know, we talk about this. We're a year and a half away from being empty nesters. Our kids one's in college and one's about to be. And so what are we going to do? And you know what we're going to do? This. What else would we do? What else is this much fun? What else is this cool? What else has these kind of relationships, this much joy, this much impact? You know, after you've made all the money for yourself, and even before that, a lot of people are attracted to our business because it makes an impact. It makes a lasting impact. You change somebody's health, you've changed their life. You don't know the people that you talk to every day, whether or not cancer, stroke, or heart disease is coming their way. But here, at least here in America, it's 70% chance, probably the same there, that's what you're going to die of. And the cool news is that you can intervene in that. You can make that difference. And you don't know the person on the plane, the person at the grocery store, the person at the country club, the person that came out of my charity event. You don't know what they've got going on in their world. And you know what? They don't even know it. They don't feel cancer coming on. They don't feel a heart attack coming on. They don't know something's about to change in their life. And your little conversation about Juice Plus could change everything. Could change everything. Could change whether their kids have a parent going forward. It could change whether or not their parents, because the ripple effect of what we do, know about something that can get them healthy in their old age. So, I mean, the impact of what we do is exciting. And I guess that's all of my story. How did I get started and what is it? That's all in there, you know, 26 years. That's the idea. I can't hear you though. Lost you.
I muted myself to try and make it easier to hear you. I was just saying, you know, you've accomplished so much over 26 years in the company, and I don't think you can hear me very well, can you? So I'll keep it short and let you talk. So what I wanted to ask you next is, when you first got started, what was a day like for you?
Yeah, what a day like for me when I first got started was real different than it is today. You know, before you have an organization, the whole focus is how many people can I talk to in a day? And my goal was to talk to 10 every day. No matter how I did it, I wanted to have 10 conversations about my product and my business every single day. And I networked to that. We used to have a salad bar down the street from our office. And it was actually Wendy's. You guys have Wendy's over there, I would imagine, right? The franchise Wendy's, the hamburger joints, maybe not. It's an American franchise. It's like McDonald's. anyway, they had a salad bar for a while. And so I would actually go eat my salad, and then I would sit and I'd wait for somebody really cool to come in the line, and then I'd go up and go in the line so I could talk to them. And that counted as somebody I was talking to. Before Facebook, obviously. I couldn't do a Facebook party or make a post and have a whole bunch of communication. But the idea every single day was 10 people a day. And so the day was completely focused on that. And then as the team starts to grow, you can't quite talk to 10 people a day because you're helping your team. You still have to stay focused on front line. You have to stay focused as a leader. You've got to stay focused of doing the things that you're training. You always want to be doing the things that you're training, because people don't do what you say, they do what you do. So you always need to be doing the things you're training. But as you get a team and you start working with them, and then pretty soon you're putting on big events, pretty soon you're putting on these video conference calls, pretty soon you're starting to organize things. And today, I'm still talking to people every day. I'm still getting customers. I still get distributors, but there's just a lot more going on. And it's interesting when people say, oh, well, you got so much money, you probably don't have any problems anymore. And it's really interesting because the more money you have, the more problems you have. It's if you don't have very much money, you can't afford to have very many problems, right? You really have one problem. You don't have very much money. but as you get a bigger life and you start to grow, and I'm on the board of charities that make a big difference. I'm on all kinds of committees. I've got investments. I've got all of these things today. And so I've developed, because of this business, the skills to be able to handle all of this stuff. And it sounds like I'm advertising myself, but you asked me what my day is today. It is so diverse. It's gigantic. It's interesting. And it doesn't have to be. I don't have to do any of those things. I don't have to be on the boards of those charities. I don't have to commit to those causes. I don't have to take on all of the different things that I do. And I don't even need to put in on all these investments today. But it's interesting. It's opportunity. And the way I look at it is, the more problems I have to solve, the more opportunity I have in my life. And so that's kind of my day-to-day is very, very diverse. It's the same day as you guys have when you're at the conference, though. It's called wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, go to bed at 2 in the morning, and talk all day, which is fun.
Cool. Yeah, I think the conferences are the same wherever you are in the world. They're just brilliant. Actually, while we're on that, do you want to just explain the importance of getting to the big events to people? Because not everybody was at Brighton, and I think they really missed out.
Yeah, there's no question about the importance of events. But it doesn't just not the big events. It needs to be an event calendar. You need to have a real schedule of what you're promoting, and the large events are the biggest key. I mean, if you're in a relationship with somebody who wants more in their life, and that's my new distributor. They want to get out and they want more in their life. Those meetings are going to give them more belief, more opportunity, more of what they need to have to get more in their life than anything else I can give them individually. So you've got to be building for those events. I actually kind of look at it as how my organization is growing. I remember when I first got started, I took 4 people to my first sales coordinator conference, as we call them, and called them back then too. And the idea was, okay, well, I got 4 to this one. How many can I get to the next one? I went to the next one with 20. We did them every 3. We did 3 a year back then. And I brought 20. The next one, I brought 80 people. And I didn't know after that how many people were at the conference that were on my team. There was no way to know. No, impossible to know. And so when I start new people and they really, there's a crossover. Because if you're just wanting to build this business and make a little extra money and have a customer base, that's fantastic. I have thousands of people that do that, and that's fantastic. But if you want to build a team and you want that team to be motivated, you want that team to have vision, you want that team to grow, and you want that team to be independent of you, the conferences are your best tool to do that. And you can't get team to go until you go, right? And so it's your commitment that they follow, and then that duplication process makes it really build. But it's all about belief. That's what our life's about. If we believe something's going to be successful, we'll be willing to put the effort in. If we have doubts, if we have concerns, if we're not sure, the effort doesn't come. The conferences build that belief. And then people feel safe to put the effort in. They know the company's got their back. They know the products are fantastic, and that builds everything really fast.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, Brighton was just on at the same time as Nashville, so we were all in conference at the same time. And you wish you could bottle it and show it to everybody who's not there, because that's, I think, from the very beginning why I've always had so much belief in the company, in the product, because I went to a conference and event from day one. Every single opportunity I had to meet people, talk to people, I took it. And I think that that's what gives you that. Like, nobody can tell me anything bad about the product, anything bad about the company, anything bad about the business, anything bad about the people in it, because I know and I've met it and I've seen it, and that's why it's so important. And obviously that's where I met you and Jeff, so that's why it's important too. And it's interesting, you talk about you and Jeff being sidelines. You know, you're both really successful in your own businesses, but yet your businesses aren't linked. And you know, I've got great sideline buddies in this business too. Like, look at me and Katie, no connection at all. Me and Katie Raby, no connection at all in terms of business relationship, but great friendship, and that's helped us both whenever we've needed it. And I really encourage all my guys to have a sideline buddy. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to ask you, like, what's been your best times? So the things that you've really loved, and the things that have been your best times within the company so far?
Well, as I kind of mentioned, it's really relationships. You know, Jeff and I are very, very close friends. We vacation together. We've had a ball all over the world. And I can count hundreds of people that are close friends of mine. I can't imagine being in a business that isn't like this, that you could have that many close friendships. And so that's my number one thing. The other thing is, you know, you get an opportunity with something like this, and not everybody on the phone has kids, but we got a chance to bring our kids up with possibility thinking. You know, our kids think that anything is possible. They've been in an environment and this, what my wife likes to call our Juice Plus bubble, that is, our company loves us, our distributors love us. We love our company. We love our distributors. Our customers love us. We love our customers. It's this real. It's a positive environment. But even more than that, it's a committed positive environment, because built into the marketing plan, the only way I can be successful, or you can be successful, or anybody on the call here can be successful, is to help other people be successful. It's built into it. And so when you talk about what our blessings are, it's this environment. Why, you know, you think about, okay, well, I've made enough money, I could retire from it. Who would you be if you retired from all this positiveness, right? God forbid you had time to watch the news. I don't know if you guys still watch the news, but I turned it off a long time ago. Do you want to keep a positive mental attitude? You want to be happy about the world? You want to see the best in other people before they see it in themselves? Turn the news off. The news is the worst of our world, every single night put out there for you to look at. And but our world isn't that way. Our world is positive, it's exciting, it's fun, and it's about real stuff. It's about real stuff we can make a difference in, not something that there's nothing we can do about. It's just a problem.
Yeah, I feel exactly the same. Like, my kids are surrounded by people who build them up, who tell them they can do anything, be anything, have anything. It's such a positive. And my daughter's just been here listening to you talking, and like, who gets at 8 years old gets to hear like somebody really powerful speak every single day? She's surrounded by that. So I think that is something. And also, we get to leave this business to our kids. I don't know if people even know that. Like, we're just leaving a legacy that you can leave a business to your children as well. I think that's massive.
Absolutely.
What about, have you had any struggles? You must have had over the years, struggles, maybe lost some team members, lost some legs. How did you get past that, and what did you do to deal with it?
Well, I have to be honest, in the beginning, when I first started losing team, when we had the transition between the water business, and I had been very, very successful in that. And Juice Plus, there was a real gap time where it was difficult. It was very, very difficult. And I believe today that your achievement in life isn't how you act and react when things are going great. It's how you act and react when things are down. That's when your philosophies get tested. That's when your beliefs get tested. and your metal gets tested, and you got to find something that you believe in at that point that you can come from, a base. And, you know, all the people that stuck around through that period, our base was Jay Martin, president of our company. You know, he stuck around. He put a buyback program in and bought back anybody that had water filters that didn't want them, anybody that was negative out there, changed the marketing plan so things couldn't happen the way they had happened before that had a few negatives in it, where people were front loading people and they were buying too much product, and really, you know, set the stage for us to be what we are today. And that was a time period where a lot of companies that have been around today, the president of the company goes, hey, yeah, had a good run. I made my money. Sorry, it's not working anymore. Bye. But that's not Jay Martin, and we all got behind that, and that was really a foundational point for me. That it's like, you know what, he's sticking in here, and he's spending his own money to stick in here. I can stick in here and come from a place of strength, not from a place of jumping. Because all those people that left, they all wish they'd have stayed. They all did. So when things are going down a little bit, you know, you gotta get into your philosophies. You gotta get into your ideas about what you believe in. And ours was Jay Martin. And but we also believe in the product. You know, we were seeing results in Juice Plus as it started to come out. But not easy to do. But I will say this: everybody that I know that's super successful in our business, and even most everybody that's super successful in life, that's happy, is stable. They live from a place of stability. They are grounded. They're not looking across the street at greener grass. They're not, because, you know, the thing about greener grass across the street is you still got to mow it, right? It still has to be tended. There are people that are stable, and the people that I know, and I know some people that are very successful. Not as many the ones that are stable, but people that jump from thing to thing to thing to thing, and they're always doing something different in our type of business and in other businesses. And they can make money, but they don't have that long-term 26-year, 100 different friends, right? They don't have that community. They don't have that solidity, and it's a different life without that. It is. When I look back, if you take all the money, and what if you tripled my money? What if you quadrupled my money? If you gave me 100 times my money, I wouldn't give this up, because I'd have to give up all the friendships and all the relationships that make life worth living, that make it all fun, make it all great. Now, you can say that's easy to say because I have enough money, right? I made a different decision on that before I had enough money. So that's easy for me to look back and say. But maybe I could give some people on the call tonight some wisdom on that, because I know you guys have had some challenges, and there are people looking around, jumping around, doing all sorts of things. My experience over the last, 26 years is those people don't end up successful. A few do. It's not 100%. But what they do is, it's easy to jump the next time when you jump the first time. And then you jump easier to jump the next time. And each time you jump and you tell everybody, this is the most amazing, this is the most incredible deal, this is the place. And then you jump again, you lose credibility. And people lose credibility to the point to where they used to have dreams and goals, and now they have a job. That's what happens. And I've watched it happen over the last 26 years. So I feel really, really strong about the decision we made to stick in here with this company, because it's quite a legacy.
Yeah, it really is, and I think people really see and feel that. For me, I'm only coming up to 3 years in the business, and I'm still a baby. I'm still in nappies in the business compared to you guys, but I've never felt more passionate, focused, driven, excited than I do right now. And I've always been passionate, focused, driven, and excited about what we've got here. But I know that the people who are coming in behind me, the people that came in before me, everybody's just got so much opportunity, so much, chance to do something with your life, like you said before, something that actually matters. Like, I used to sell fuzzy cups to kids and had a stable job then. This matters to people. It helps change people's lives. And if I can do that for the next 46 years, then that's what I want to do. And I'll only do it with this company, because there isn't anywhere else where you can have that impact, in my opinion. So, in all your experience and all the things that you know, what would be the top 3 pieces of advice you'd give somebody who's looking to build a long-term sustainable income so that somebody else who's on this call 26 years from now can be doing the call for somebody else and explain why this is the moment that they need to make a decision about what they do and why?
You know, it's really a handful of things. There's not a whole bunch of magic that you've got to master in this business. I would say the first thing is that you've got to have a dream, you've got to have a goal, you have to have something to get you out of bed. Like I said before, we don't have a big investment. So you've got to have something that's driving you. You've got to have a burning desire for something. And maybe that's just for your situation to change. Maybe it's money, maybe it's health. I don't know what it is, but you need to find that. And if you're going to have long-term success, you've got to cultivate that and keep that going. You know, otherwise life can just get in the way and get boring. And that burning desire keeps the fire going, keeps the excitement going, keeps that delivery system going. So I would say long-term, that's that number one thing. Have goals, objectives, and desire about something. Probably the number two thing would be to grow personally. You know, I would say that the most successful people I know are addicted to growth. They're addicted to becoming better. They're addicted to becoming more. They're addicted to being more impactful. They're addicted to learning and growing on a regular, consistent basis. And once again, if you're addicted to that, you're also addicted to being happy, because happiness comes from growth. That's the equation that works in life. If you're growing, you're happy. So being totally about growth is going to bring happiness. It's also going to continue to fuel your fire, fuel your goals and your dreams, which is the first one. And then I would say probably the third one is to be consistent, to show up every day, to show up on a regular basis, to get out there and go for something that is consistent. I mean, you know, there's people that work in spurts, and life doesn't give, you know, the same amount of excitement and rewards for people that work the exact same amount of time. It gives people those much more disproportionately rewards, much higher rewards for people that work consistently. You know, you work in spurts and it's hard to get momentum, it's hard to sustain things, and it's hard to get other people rolling. So having consistent effort is, if you're going to do this over for 26 years and have the life that we have, you got to be consistent. And so those are really the three things I think I'd put in there. I could probably give you about another 25, but those are good.
Is there a particular thing that you do when you said yourself you brought in 4 people recently into your front line? It's really, I think it's important for people to know that you know, you guys are still active, still building, still teaching, still growing yourselves all the time. How do you get a new person started?
You know, the number one thing to get anyone started is to find their goals and dreams. You got to ask them questions to find out what their why is for doing this. And then you help them put together a game plan to get aggressive about that why. And it's not always easy. It's not always pretty. And, you know, we started hundreds and hundreds of people that didn't pan out. They didn't work for them. They weren't as committed. They didn't want to work that hard. Whatever the reason is, they had a family situation. We've had people restart. We had a girl over here yesterday who's a senior sales coordinator with us that hasn't done anything in 3 years. She just came over and wanted to restart today. She just quit her job. She went out because she thought she needed a nutrition degree to do this business, and then she got a nutritionist job, you know, and she worked real hard on that, and it took her off schedule, right? Took her off of what we were doing, and she finally said, I don't want to do that anymore. I have more fun and more impact doing this. She just came back in. So you don't really know what it is that's going to motivate people until you start asking them. So the number one thing is to really find out what they want. And like I say, it's not always easy. We had 2 brand new fast track to senior sales coordinators that had life happen and didn't come to the conference, right? They're brand new. It's the most exciting time in their whole business to get to conference and have their people come with them. And because they didn't go, their people didn't go. And we poured all that energy into it. You know what? We'll just get them to the next conference. Mm. So it never is. There's not like some simple system where every single time it works. It's all about what people have going on in their world, and you got to find out what they have going on, and then you got to make a schedule. You know, you don't get what you want in life; you get what you schedule. And I sit down with people's schedule, and we look at their calendar, and we look at where they're putting their time today to get what they've got, And do you want more of what you've got, or do you really commit? Are you really interested in the dreams we just talked about? Well, that's going to take a different schedule. And we've got to realign this stuff, and the big rocks go in first. There's a great training that my wife does really, really well. I'll paraphrase it here, but if you have a glass and you've got some big rocks, or you could make it a big glass or a big bucket or a big vase, and some big rocks, you've got some medium-sized rocks, you've got some pebbles, and you've got some sand. And you're going to try to get it all in that vessel, right? Well, if you take the sand and you put the sand in that vessel first, and then you take the pebbles and you put them on top, and then you take the bigger rocks and you put those on, they can't get them in. They won't fit. And it's like that in life. You've got to make your priorities on how you fill your schedule. And you got to put the big rocks in first. Because if you take those big rocks and you put them in that vessel, and then you take the pebbles and or the little rocks, they fill in around it. And then you take the pebbles and they fill in around that, and you pour the sand in, and you get the whole thing, and then you can have the whole life. You can have everything, but you've got to have the priorities first. And our priorities are conference. Our big conferences, that's the priority. If you don't have that as a priority, you won't build yourself a big business. You won't duplicate your business. Then we've got our regional trainings around here, which I'm sure you guys have there too, that are still big events. They've got to be in the schedule. You don't miss those if you're committed to building this business. And the next thing is our little local events, and maybe our in-home events, and the things we're doing, or your Facebook parties, or what you're doing online. And then you have the sand, and that's the rest of life. And you can still get the rest of life in. You can still make it to the kids' events. You can still do everything as long as you got the big rocks in first. Does that make sense? And that sometimes takes some training for people, because they have basically lived from the sand. And the sand happens every day, all the time. And it's basically, I'm living in response to what life is bringing at me. And that's the way a lot of people have just live their whole life. You know, I have a job, and my boss tells me what to do every day, and I do that, and I go home, and then everything is in response to what I don't create what I want. I just respond to it. We've got to turn people into creators of their own experience, creators of their reality. So when you tell me you want something to happen within a year from now, I'm committed, and I know how to get you there. And if you believe I know how to get you there, you'll change your schedule around, and we'll get you there.
Amen. But that's it, though. I think, for me, that if you can be as passionate, if everybody in the call can be as passionate about this business opportunity and this product as you are and I am, and the people who really know what we've got here, people will join and they'll love it as much as we do, because they see it in your face. They don't even hear what you say, but they hear, as Jeff always says, they hear the music in your voice. And I think that's so true, that you could talk about this business opportunity and this product to people, and they'll get it, because it comes from here. It comes from a place of, you know, passion and caring, and all the stuff you said right at the beginning of the call about being able to impact people's lives every single day, I think is one of the most important things. And that bit you said there about there's no magic way to train somebody, I think that's so important, because so many people say to me, same as I said to you, how do you get somebody off to a fast start? Like, I don't know, it depends what they're like, what kind of person are they, what are they into, who are their friends, you know, are they already on the product, all of those things. So it's really important for people to find their own way, and to become independent, I think, as fast as possible. Is that something that you try and create quickly, as independence in your team?
Absolutely. You know, I always look at when I'm starting a new person, or even when I'm working with my leaders, it's a chess game. And when I make a move, they've got to make a move. And so I'll help them, I'll guide them, I'll be that trusted resource. But they've got to put the effort in. They've got to go out and do the energy. They've got to go out and make it happen. And the moment in time they stop moving pieces, I can't move it for them. You know, they've got to be independent. It's their business. And, you know, I've done it for people. I remember back in the early days, I've built people's businesses, but you know what? They always end up resentful. It's really interesting. It's a weird thing. You've built, you've poured, you've done everything for this person, while you also took away their opportunity. And that's why they're resentful. And it always happens that way. It's 100%. You've got to build independence and build strength in people. And what we do a lot of times is really believe more in them than they believe in themselves. And that's enough. just believe in it.
Yeah, and I think that's another gift that you can give people with this is believing in them before they even see it, or believing in themselves, like knowing that you can see in people what the chance that they've got with their lives and helping them to see that too. And it's lovely, like bringing somebody from knowing nothing to knowing something, and no belief to loads of belief, and no confidence to loads of confidence. And what an amazing way to make a living that we've got right here. Absolutely. Okay, so I'm conscious of your time, so we've got one more minute. Tell me why you're excited about the future. So you're 26 years in, you could retire, but you're not. So what is it that keeps you buzzing and excited every single day about the next?
Well, we've never had it this good. I mean, there's no question about the timing for our product. Everybody knows they don't eat enough fruits and vegetables. This is hot, hot, hot right now. I don't think we've ever been globally in a time period where more people are inspired about creating an opportunity either. Entrepreneurialism is on the fly right now. People want it. They want security. They want the idea that I can design my own future. We have a whole generation of people, the Gen Y, Gen X generations today aren't satisfied with the traditional jobs. They want to make a difference. They want to do something that matters, and they want flexibility when they do it. We fit it perfect. So our future's never been this bright. We've never had people move as fast as we do right now through the marketing plan. We've never had this many customers coming on. It's never been this good. And I feel like you got to strike while the iron is hot right now for my people. And, I'm having conversations all the time. What would be your dream income? What would you like to see in the next 3 to 5 years? Because the next 3 to 5 years, you can create any income you want. You want 7 figures? It's possible. You want a strong multi-6 figure? It's possible. If you're comfortable with an extra $2,500 or $3,000 a month, or $2,500 or 3,000 pounds a month, great. That's fantastic. But I'm really targeting the people that want more out of this, and making sure that they're into personal growth. Once again, I can't make their personal growth for them. I'm giving them the books, the tapes, the CDs, the ideas for them to grow into this. And it's exciting times right now. I mean, everything is up, up, up.
Yeah, I want to say one thing about the personal growth thing. So for me, at the beginning didn't really do very much of that. I was 36 years old when I found the business. I was like, I kind of, been there, done that, I kind of know what I'm doing. It was something that I fell into, like I thought, well, if John's doing it, then it's probably something that I should be doing too. And then started to really speak to people like you and Jeff and Gordon, Hester, and people have talked about, you grow and then your business grows. And oh my God, was that true? Like, and really, it's a bit like the business. You don't learn something straight away when you do the personal growth. It's later on. And I tell you, the last 5 weeks, I have pulled on so many things that I've read and heard and conversations that I've had have fed me into being able to be the strongest person that I am right now, because I've learned over the last 2 years from every book that I've read, every audio that I've listened to, every conversation that I've had. All of them are like the bricks that build you into this powerhouse of a person in this industry, powerhouse of a person for your team. And if you're not doing that now, guys, the personal growth bit, just half an hour a day. Find the time, get up half an hour earlier, but do it, because I promise you it's so worth it. Everybody talks about it, but not everybody does it. And if Sean's saying to do it, then I think it's definitely worth it. Thank you so much for your time, Sean. If you've got anything you want to close on, then please do that. I'll let you have the final word, and then I will talk to you soon.
Well, thank you for having me on, and I can't see everybody that's on the call, but you guys are in a great place. You're in a company with a heart. It's a great place to have a home, and I thank God all the time that 26 years ago, this was brought to my life, and I've had the opportunity to be in this situation for 26 years with this company, and I can't wait for the next 26. My daughter wants to do this, and it's going to be so much fun. So thank you for having me on, and see you guys at the conference. Come up and say hi.
See you in Arizona again.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Sean. Thanks, guys. I'll see you soon. Same time next week. Bye.
All right.
You see, you can say bye to yourself. Hold on a minute. I know how to do it. Got a bit noisy. There we go.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.